is up to. And it's kind of crazy that Donald Trump had flip-flopped on this, because don't he hate China the most? He hates China the most, but he wants to broker a deal. So he wants the law to extend past January 19th. The law allows some exceptions, but there had to be steps that were being made that was showing the divestiture from ByteDance. So freedom of speech is not real, doesn't want Americans to have free speech, nor does the government, nor does the rich and the powerful. Banning TikTok is a giveaway to the TikTok competition. Who wins when TikTok goes down? Well, Snapchat. Snapchat wins. And you old fogies, you don't know what the fuck Snapchat is. But you had MySpace, but you also had Bebo. You have a lot of companies that's competing for big eyeball. Before Facebook was MySpace. And then, of course, there's the cassettes and the DVDs and the 8-tracks and the vinyl records. You assholes used to listen to vinyl records? Why didn't you use CDs? Why don't you just use a jump drive? You didn't have Netflix streaming? Netflix streaming could be destroyed in the LA fires. Is the servers out in LA? If the servers are out in LA, well then Netflix streaming could go down, and then you'll need those 8 tracks again. And is it 8 track or A track? And then with the fucking records, you used all that money to print that fucking record for one tiny song? That is so much material. And then you just have a record player that's like crackling. You old fogies don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You hate TikTok because they're popular, because people are using TikTok. 170 million users. And actually, comparably speaking, they have 115 million active users, but I heard the other companies have like 200, 300 active users. But then there's a big thing with creators. TikTok has 8.5 million creators. Instagram has 5.2 million creators, and YouTube has 1.1 million creators. So Instagram has more creators than YouTube, and then TikTok has more creators than Instagram and YouTube combined. And then when it comes to the ad revenue, TikTok isn't taking the lion's share. Facebook takes 31% of the lion's share of the ad revenue. And then YouTube takes 21%, Instagram takes 25%. So that's that's Meta. Instagram and Facebook is Meta. So that means they're taking goddamn, 56% of the ad revenue. YouTube only has 21%. And TikTok only takes 9%. A lot of small businesses and people have given up their little jobs in order to make these videos, and they're making good fucking money off of TikTok. I thought you'd give a shit about job creators. We gotta suck the billionaires' dicks because they create jobs. Well, TikTok creates jobs. And there is a burden on TikTok to divest from their parent company. If it wasn't a burden, then they would fucking do it. And there's no burden on the user's expression at all. The law says that they got to sell this shit. That means they got to use all the fucking money to move some assets and move some corporate fucking papers and shit. Really, they want their millionaire buddies to buy fucking TikTok so that way some American can exploit the shit out of Americans. That's what it is. They don't want China to make a fucking pretty penny. They want one of their billionaire buddies to make a pretty penny. There is a burden on TikTok. There is a burden on users' expression. If you can't download TikTok, then they can't have a bunch of support stuff. And Donald Trump even said something about not enforcing the law. Well, the law is still there. So even if the president says that he's not going to enforce the law, well, one of the fucking deep state motherfuckers might enforce the law on his behalf. So the law itself might just dissuade people from getting away from TikTok. There's no burden. Bullshit. There's Jack Nader. He's talking about how he's downloading all of his TikTok videos and he's putting them up on YouTube. So he's taking down the TikTok videos, or he's downloading them because he's thinking that it's going to get banned or shadow banned. And then he's worried about being shadow banned, because if you're just taking all the videos away from TikTok and putting it on these other platforms. That's a burden. That's a burden. That's a lot of fucking time-consuming bullshit. You already got your fucking social media app. Just let Jack Nader make his fucking money. He used to be like some coffee barista. Now he's getting $1,000 to $12,000 a month making these videos on TikTok. He's able to pay for his apartment and groceries. You act like you give a fuck about the American people and the working class. You act like you give a fuck about creating jobs. You act like you give a fuck about equal opportunity. He can buy groceries now. I know your billionaire motherfucking friends, you think you gotta use an ID to buy groceries. Jack Nader has been on TikTok for 1.5 years and he's amassed a big following. Now where is Jack Nader supposed to go? OnlyFans? Is he gonna have to strip down to his panties and shake his ass now? On OnlyFans? And the thing about these media companies is, even if you like the company and they're good for the creators, if people aren't watching, people are getting on Rumble, and then there are some other companies that people were using, and it's like, even if they're better for creators, they're better for free speech, they got, some better incentives. If the public isn't watching it, if they're not paying attention to it, then it's not going to go anywhere. Kavanaugh said that there are some foreign broadcasting companies that had been banned before in America, which, really, who's that? That's fucking fascinating to me. I can't remember. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but I didn't know that. Alito's a dumb shit. Well, you could just go to a different platform, can't you? Yeah, go to MySpace, Alito, you stupid fuck, and tell me how your 8-tracks are playing. If there is an apocalypse, and maybe we might need your 8-tracks to get some of that old stuff. But if the internet keeps on going, then all that 8-track stuff could be put on the internet, and then you can make an electronic copy, and then you could just copy it a million fucking times and have a million distributions out there. That's a good way to save your 8-tracks forever. So Gorsuch also pointed out that Politico is owned by the Germans, and the Oxford University Press, I guess, is owned by Oxford University. There's other foreign companies out here. There's other foreign-owned companies that operate in America. Politico, Oxford University Press, Toyota. All the fucking products in goddamn Walmart's made in China. So you probably should just shut down Walmart, right? Somebody compared this to the Red Scare of the 1950s when they banned the Communist Party. There is some, this is an attack on free speech. This is an attack on the right to contract. This is an attack on a popular social media app. Politicians are boring old fogies and they can't convince the power of their ideas anymore by persuading. And so they're going to fucking cheat. They're going to cut your phone cord. Oh, the call's coming from inside the house. And now you can't call outside. Now you got the fucking thief inside the house. They've cut your fucking phone cords. They're cheating. The Supreme Court is helping these other social media companies to fucking cheat. TikTok offers a unique service, a superior product. That's why people are using TikTok. So TikTok is offering a magical carpet ride. Alito pretends it's not unique, which Alito is wrong about that. So Apple and Google could still comply with the law even in spite of Donald saying that he might not enforce it. You also have somebody suggested, why not put a warning label? TikTok might take your data. And they might manipulate your data to sell it to advertisers, and advertisers might use the content that you use in order to sell you some shit that you like. What? They know that I'm trying to buy cat food and then they offered a bunch of cheap cat food for me to buy? What a bunch of assholes. I'm sick of the propaganda. I'm sick of the influence. This is a national security threat. I want to buy some cat food and they showed me exactly where the cat food was to be bought from. Yeah, eat the cat indeed. Shriek. I was going to try to scream there, but ah! Not a very good script.